welcome to Microfiche Microphone. I'm Micah, and on this channel, we look at microfiche from the past, old newspaper articles in the public domain, and we look at them with our modern eyes and our modern perspective and see what we can learn from them. On this microfiche time capsule, we are looking at Kansas Farmer from 21 September 1918. And this article is entitled Electricity in the Farm Home. This one caught my attention because electricity in 1918 was relatively new. It was not the newest of the new things, but in especially rural areas, not everyone had electricity. So this is something that they were still learning how to use properly. So let's take a look at this article. It's a reminder that history is real. And, nothing, things have changed over time. And I think that it's something we need to appreciate. So electricity in the farm home. Light or power at the turn of a switch is a convenience that has become so familiar in the town or city residents that we do not realize what it means, except as an occasional accident may put the transmission lever out of business and leave us in darkness. Can we have electricity to brighten the hours of farm home life? Asks George M. Shook in a recent issue of the Jewell County Farm Bureau News. On our farm, it has proved a necessity. The cost of upkeep is so low, it is hardly considered at all. Nice. So it's actually much more economical than some of their other solutions. Like kerosene is what I could think of. Another one would be oil or natural gas that they had before they used electricity. But natural gas, for example, would require you to be hooked up to a line of natural gas, like a source. Oil and kerosene, you would have to go out and buy and come home with it. Whereas electricity, you would have to be strung up and attached to the network, but as soon as you were, it works. Yeah? But I guess the same thing could be said of natural gas. It's just that it couldn't be used for everything, I guess. Also slightly dangerous. It has that chance of exploding. Well, we don't want that. All members of the family enjoy the lights, and around the reading lamp there are no shadows to mar the pleasure of reading. There is no danger from fire. Safety is one of the most important things to consider. Lights in every room, on the porch, in the cave, in the garage, the fuel house, over the cows at milking time, in the hay mow at feeding time. Hay mow? Yeah. Like mowing the hay. Okay. And in the barn when harnessing the work teams make work much easier. True story. I don't know how many of you have ever tried to work without light. It's not so easy. Even people who regularly have vision problems, like people who have poor vision or who are completely blind, there are things that are harder for them. It is much easier to work with good light. Yeah? The frogs in the nearby lake seem to derive pleasure from having the lights. Ooh, that's kind of a negative, actually. Do you want to attract the frogs? I don't know. Maybe that was their goal. Even the old hens seem to enjoy the lights, particularly in the wintertime. They can begin to scratch around earlier in the morning and, of course, will lay more eggs. Is that true? If you turn on the lights in the winter and they wake up earlier, do they have more... Do they lay more eggs? I don't know. So anybody knows, please write in the comments below. I'm curious. Then in the home, we find the electric iron, the floor sweeper, the motor for running the cream separator, washing machine, and if you choose, the electric fan and other conveniences. The electric pump with the automatic pressure tank, which furnishes hot and cold water at the faucet in the home and water in the tank for the stock. Okay, I am going to reinterpret everything that they said because we call them different things. Electric iron, I don't think we have another kind, so we just call it an iron. The floor sweeper, if it's electric, then I'm assuming you mean a vacuum cleaner. The motor for running the cream separator, okay, that's a dairy farm thing, and I don't think that most people have that in their homes. However, if you had a dairy farm, you would probably have one. Washing machine, yes, we still call it that, and if you choose, the electric fan and other conveniences. Electric fan, big fan, it's a good thing. The electric pump with the automatic pressure tank, which furnishes hot and cold water at the faucet in the home and water in the tank for the stock. I am very impressed with this because I know that before electricity, it was a manual pump that you had to prime, and then you had to pump out a whole bunch of water and then just set it around. And, usually you pumped out a bunch at once so that you don't have to keep doing it over again. And electricity I find interesting, was the difference. It made the difference between the manual pump that you had to prime and this automatic pressure tank is what they're calling it, that makes it possible to just turn on the tap and you have water. So I think this is something that we should just take a pause moment to appreciate. Electricity made it possible for us to have fully running water. Thank you, electricity. I am very, very grateful for electricity. Yay! Can we afford to be without this much-needed improvement? I don't think anybody ever wants to be out without electricity. We cannot on this farm. It is cherished more than our auto. Auto is... I speak a couple other languages in case you hadn't noticed, and I think that I would associate that more with German. like even in French they say voiture, and in English I say car. Our car, auto. I wonder how it was pronounced then. Auto? Did they? I don't know. My natural instinct is to use the German pronunciation. In meinem Auto. Okay, moving on. We men should provide this necessity in our homes. Oh, great. Let's throw some sexism in there. Why not? We started out so well talking about new technology, and now let's throw in some sexism. Just why not? Our wives and daughters are worthy of these conveniences. Everything that brightens the home surroundings is an added help toward refinement, better intellect, and the firmer binding of home ties. So why did you have to bring sexism into the question? Yeah? We men should provide this necessity in our homes. Because, especially on a farm, a woman didn't do any work. Are you flippin' kidding me? Men and women worked just as hard as each other on a farm back then. Even today. Geez. That's annoying. That absolutely annoys me. Our wives and daughters are worthy of these conveniences, but not our sons, apparently. I don't understand this argument at all. Jeez. Oh, you had to throw it in there, didn't you? Jeez. The past was the worst. Okay, moving on. So, the next sentence I'm actually okay with. Everything that brightens the home surroundings is an added help toward refinement, better intellect, and the firmer binding of home ties. I kind of disagree that it helps with binding home ties. I don't think anything helps with that except being a decent human being and accepting your child as for who they are, You need to work on your relationships, but having electricity isn't going to help you with that. I'm just saying. Some say, I cannot afford this. Better economize along some other lines and figure from this standpoint of safety and an added asset, one sure to be most loyally appreciated by the missus. Yeah. Once again, let's throw in some sexism. Jeez. No, not everyone could afford it when it first came out, and I think that pressurizing people to quote-unquote make their wives happy is absolutely wrong, morally wrong. Who says crap like this? Make your wife happy by having better technology so that you can afford a vacuum cleaner, because they're talking about a whole bunch of things. They're not only talking about the electricity itself. Once you get electricity to your house, that's awesome, so glad we have it, but now you have to buy an electric lamp, You're going to have to buy all of the things that you didn't have before because your house did not come with these things. It wasn't even set up with electricity until you strung it in, which means once you string it in, that you have to buy all of the appliances yourself. So not only did you have to pay to hook up to the electric net, but you also are now going to have to buy the automatic pressure tank. and the motor for running the cream separator, the floor sweeper, the electric iron, you know, I don't know, the electric fan, you know, and to quote unquote make your missus happy. Like, are you serious? So you're not only talking about spending, you know, $20 to hook up to the network. I have no idea how much it cost back then. That was just a number I threw out there. But let's say it was 20 to hook up to the network. So you do. And now you have to buy, you know, spend another 10 for a lamp and another 20 for the automatic pressure tank and another 35 for your vacuum cleaner, your floor sweeper, you know, etc., etc. Like, I don't have no idea what the prices were, but we're not only talking about a little bit. Like, maybe it was a little bit to hook up to the network, but then you have to buy all of the other things. So even if a lamp was only $1, you have to buy like 10 for the house. You know what I mean? Like, don't pressure people into doing stuff. This is ridiculous. People love technology. If they want to have it, they will put forth the effort to have it in their homes. I think that most people have shown that they will eventually do it, even if it wasn't necessarily something that was typically like done. Sorry. I just don't like this. I feel like they were pressuring people into having electricity, which I don't understand at all. Because in rural areas, it wasn't that common. Maybe at this point it was, but like when it first came out, it definitely wasn't. So annoying. So, I hope that we don't do this today. I feel like we do to a certain extent, but like the whole sexism thing, let's leave that out. You should want new technology because it's convenient, because it's helpful, not because you want to, quote unquote, you know, make the most loyally appreciated by the missus. You know what's appreciated by the missus? Respect. Because every person in the world appreciates respect. So, it would be really nice if everyone was respected as a human being and not treated like some sort of alien being by their significant others. Ugh. You know, those mysterious creatures, they just love technology. No, you know who loves technology? Everyone. Everyone in the world, alright? I'm sorry. I know that sexism was in the past, and I felt like I was ready to confront it, but when it was so incredibly unnecessary, it just rankles me. It just gets under my skin where I say, what in the world were you thinking? That is not helpful. Anyways, moving on. But I think that we learned something today about the introduction of electricity in rural Kansas. And I think that it's interesting to see how even in 1918, they were like, hey, everybody has it, you know, you should have it too. So a little bit of peer pressure, but hey, at least it's clear what's going on. Yeah, they're not trying to hide it at all. So I hope you enjoyed that Microfiche time capsule, and the sexism didn't get you too annoyed like it did me. But please like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments below what you think, and if there's anything specific you want to learn about, and I hope to see you in the next video.